So this is a tutorial on how to get started with the sewing machine. First thing we're going to do is we're going to wind a bobbin. Now to do this, we're going to unthread the needle, and so we'll take it out of all the different threading spots here, and we'll stretch it out. And this is what we're going to be using as a source of thread. So you can see that I looped it right through this metal hook here on top, and I'm going to push the end of the thread through one of the holes in the bobbin, and this is going to keep the thread from accidentally unspooling. Then I'm going to attach it to the bobbin threader spool on top and click it rightward into position, and you can see as you slowly press the pedal, that's going to start spooling thread from the big spool of thread onto the bobbin. You're going to want to do this for a little while. You can use just a little bit, but we have lots of thread, so it's perfectly alright to use plenty. So when it looks like it's in pretty good shape, go ahead and snip the thread and push the bobbin holder back to the left, and you should be good. Okay, and snip off any of that tail end that you use to push through the center of the bobbin. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to work on actually getting the bobbin into the machine. So you're going to want to slide this piece of the sewing machine away and flip open the bobbin door, and you're going to pull out the bobbin holder using the little tab on it. There may be a bobbin already in there, but you can just pop this out and remove any thread from it. You're then going to take the bobbin that you spooled and press it in the bobbin holder, and you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of the thread hanging out. You're going to use this so that when you line it up with the bobbin, you'll push it through the little slit in the bobbin holder, and that'll take it out to the thread window. You can spool it out and then press it back into the machine. And with this, you'll want to make sure that you've got a little bit of a tail left over. Go up to your top thread, and you're going to follow the numbers on the machine. So 1 goes across and down, 2 and 3 go back up and back down. Go ahead and raise your needle just a little bit, and go ahead and press it through the eye of the needle, making sure that you've got it looped in on hook number 4 as well. So once you have it through the eye of the needle, go ahead and pull the slack out, making sure it doesn't get twisted around anything, and you can raise the presser foot using the lever on the back. Okay, here you're going to advance the needle just a little bit, and what that's going to do is it's going to fish underneath and actually grab that bobbin thread. And if you begin to pull on this, what you will notice is that you get 2 separate threads. One is your top thread and one is your bottom thread. Once you have that, you can close the bobbin door back up, slide the side of machine back on, and lower the presser foot, and you should be ready to sew now. So in this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our pattern fabric. We've got 2 pieces here, inside out, so both outside faces are sandwiched together facing in. And we're just going to go through, and about every inch or so, we're going to add a straight pin. And what this is going to do is it's going to help keep our pattern together as we're sewing, so that the fabric doesn't bunch up and get misaligned. And so you don't have to go overkill on the pins, but you should have enough to where as you're sewing that you feel like each next part that you're sewing has a good bit of grip on it. And you're going to want to work that on the entire piece all around all the edges. Okay, now that you've got that pinned up, we're going to go ahead and start sewing on it. So to do that, you're going to take your piece and pick a corner, go ahead and raise your presser foot up, and we're going to go ahead and pull that first pin. And once we have it into place, we're going to lower the presser foot down onto it, and this is going to pull the fabric through naturally, so you don't have to press very hard, you just have to guide it. And we're going to slowly press on the pedal, and we're going to make a few stitches, and you can see here we use the reverse pedal on the right hand side, that little switch, and we push that down. It actually is going to back the machine up a couple stitches, and then you can go forward again, and this just creates a strong starting seam. Okay, you can see I get here to the corner, and I'm going to raise the presser foot and actually move the fabric underneath it. You could also just continue to stitch and just kind of curve it around if you wanted to, but if you want a really tight corner, sometimes it can be useful to actually raise up that presser foot while the needle is still through the fabric and just make it tight 90-degree turn. Now as we kind of wrap our way around, we are going to leave a couple of inches near the end. We don't want to sew this completely closed because we're going to be turning this inside out and then stuffing it, and to do that we're going to need a hole through which we can turn it inside out and stuff it. And so as you get in a little bit closer, you can see me removing just the last few straight pins. We're going to finish it out, and for that finishing seam, again, you can see me using that reverse button to back it up and finish out. And again, just going back and forth, that helps make sure that none of your stitches work themselves out. When you're done, go ahead and raise the presser foot, snip your loose threads, and so you can see that we've got kind of those ugly seams there, but we're going to make those go away by turning the entire thing inside out, and that's going to hide all of those stitches. So depending on your design, this may be a little tricky. Here I've just got a simple square, so it shouldn't be too bad, but sometimes you can use either just a pen with the cap on, you don't want to mark up your thing, or even a wooden dowel to kind of help push through all the corners of your design. And so you're just going to continue to work it out until you've got all of the edges pushed out. If you have a relatively complex design, you just want to make sure that you get as much of that of those corners and little bits that may be sticking out through and pushed out with your dowel rod or your pen if necessary. We just want to make sure that there's lots of room for that batting to get stuffed in. So here you can see me I've got most of it inside out, but I'm just going through and picking at those corners, making sure that they get as far out as they possibly can. And once we're done with this step, we're going to begin stuffing it. So we'll use the polyester filling for that. And once you're done stuffing it, then what you can do is you can finish off that 1 or 2 inch opening by hand using a whip stitch with just a hand needle and thread. Ideally, you'll want that thread to match the thread that you used for sewing it. But once you've got that done and stitched up, then you're going to move on to painting it using the guidelines that you etched into the muslin. So here you can see just the last few bits. There's the hole where I'm going to do the stuffing, and I'll need to stitch that up at the very end. But that's it for working with the sewing machine.